Well, it's good to be with you this morning as we gather on the first day of fall. What is that noise?
It's ripples forming waves.
Yeah, that's great. It reminds me of the beach, but why, during my sermon, are there ripples forming waves?
Don't you remember we were preempting your sermon today?
No.
We are.
Oh,
We're
okay.
looking at ripples growing into waves. You know, those little ripples, the little bit of water that we have in baptism that brings waves of change and love in our life?
Yeah, I can work with that image. That's good. It's kind of like baptism, like you said. A child enters into the waters of baptism, and out of that small act, out of just a little bit of water, a new life of faith can be born. I can work with this, Sue. This is good.
It is good.
Wow.
Want to know why we're talking about it?
Oh, yeah. Why are we talking about ripples and waves?
This is our stewardship program for this year. We're going to take a look at the little actions that we as people in this congregation do on a daily basis through ministry teams or our life, and the big waves of impact they make not only on this church, but on our whole community.
You know, that's good. I didn't come up with that. I like this. This is a good idea. Ripples to waves as a way of looking at stewardship. And you know, it's funny. It makes me think of something I saw in my bulletin this morning. Wasn't there a blue piece of paper that was inserted in my bulletin? Does anybody? Oh, Peter Courtney has it. Look at that. It says ripples to waves, and it talks about a fall stewardship program.
Absolutely. So what's going to happen is each week during our services, we're going to have the opportunity to hear from different ministry teams on exactly what sorts of things they've done this year that maybe seem like small actions, but when you put it all together, it had a huge impact.
You know, that makes me think a little bit of the gospel this morning, and I know you're preempting my sermon, but what a great time to reflect on the ripples and waves that come from Jesus, reminding us to serve and not to seek to be leaders, but to welcome all. It's like a little ripple of welcoming a child can make a difference.
Absolutely. So, Peter, if you think about all these ministry teams talking about all the ripples they're making, what would be a good response that you should do?
Put down your cell phone and listen.
Listening is good, but I was thinking about email. Because we're going to be doing 5 weeks of presentations in church, but on Wednesdays, other ministry teams are going to share some of their ripples, some of the things they did. So be looking for your emails midweek as well. You're going to get more information.
All right, I'll check my email. And so this morning, as we talk about ripples turning into waves, about God taking our small actions, our small gifts, and transforming them into things that can touch people's lives and change the world, we're going to welcome members of the outreach ministry team forward to come and talk about the small ripples that have taken place at this place that have touched so many lives in this world. So Lori, Claire, I know you're coming forward. Come on up.
Good morning. I'm Lori Decker. I'm speaking on behalf of the outreach team. Our team was formed 2.5 years ago, but the history of outreach at St. Mark's stretches back more than 30 years. That's right, 4 members, one of them being our very own Mary Dunkley, started a ripple to follow Christ's command to feed the hungry by participating in the open pantries, loaves and fishes, community kitchen in downtown Springfield. The small group prepared and served a hot meal of meatloaf, roasted potatoes, and coleslaw to an equally small group of those in need. The ripple has grown into a wave where today more and more of St. Mark's parishioners go down to South Congregational Church in Springfield to feed an average of 100 people, many of them children, at each meal. When you do the math, 6 times a year times 100 people each meal, it works out to more than 20,000 people who have received a hot meal since we began serving at Loaves and Fishes. Now that's a wave, don't you think? Today, hot beef stew and green beans, fresh coleslaw, and Italian bread are all on the menu. These are some of the people here at St. Mark's doing God's work, making waves, starting fires. An average of $250 is needed to purchase the food each time we prepare the meals. So that means an increase of just $25 a month in your yearly giving will feed 120 people next year. My math's not that good. No, I'm just kidding. An increase of $50 a month would feed 250 people. 40 people. I don't know why I keep doing that. I told you my math's not that good. It's amazing when you think about it. You can ensure that this program, which is in danger of being eliminated due to our budget deficit, will continue next year, and we can continue the wave that started with Mary and that small ripple more than 30 years ago. Please take a moment during the next few weeks to consider whether you can help make this happen with an increase in your annual giving. Let's keep the wave going so that together we can continue to do the work that God has given us to do. Thank you.